Good evening, welcome to this live feed. Thank you so much for being here. How is everyone today? How is everyone this evening, this morning, wherever you may be in this amazing world? We just take a moment to be just deeply and completely grateful and in gratitude and in deep appreciation for life, for purpose, which is what we are speaking to today, for opportunity, for the choices, the freedom, in so much freedom that we have in choices that we can make about life, about ourselves, about who we are. And just take a moment to be in gratitude for anything that you wish to be deeply and completely grateful for. I can see some people coming on, Spomenka, Daniel, Daniela, Dave, Lydia, Fiona, thank you for being here. Sky, Bex, how are you? How is everybody? If you're just coming on, I cannot see everybody that comes on, so please pop a number 1 in the comment box and let me know that you're here. So if you put number 1 in the comment box, I'll be able to see the comments and I'll be able to know that you're here. Fiona, hello, how are you? Yeah, and number 1 in the comment box, and also let me know how you're feeling. What am I grateful for? Wow. Well, I'm grateful for the ocean swim that I had this morning, which was very cold and hailing and windy, but it was so amazing. Daniela, good to have you here. Thank you. Yes. Samuel. If you're new to these live feeds, please place new in the comment box and let me know that you're new. And if you're just coming on, pop number 1 in the comment box and let me know that you're here. And we are speaking to purpose today. We are speaking to how aligning with, Lydia, welcome. You're new, wonderful. Welcome, tribe, community, beautiful people out there. If we could welcome Lydia, please, that would be wonderful. Lydia's new, awesome. We're speaking to how purpose can drive the quality of the experiences that we have in relationship. Yeah. So when we are clear with who we are, I want to just jump straight into this. I want to get right into this. When we have clarity with who we are, when we have clarity with our purpose, when we have clarity with the greatness that resides within us, we become engulfed with this purity, this ability to connect to self. And in doing so, we're able to connect to others. And Eric, how are you, brother? Welcome. Thank you. Hi, Ruth. If you're new to these live feeds, pop new in the comment box. If you're just coming on, pop number 1 in the comment box. Tacha, welcome. Thank you. So much love circulating today. I feel this love, everybody's greeting and meeting and interacting and intermingling, and it's beautiful, it's wonderful. Thank you so much. It really is, it's deeply inspiring, it really is. So we're gaining clarity on purpose, and I'm going to speak a little bit to the masculine here, and the clarity that the purpose in the masculine and how that serves the masculine, but how it also serves the feminine. And of course I will do the same for the feminine. In fact, I'm just going to get straight into it. Why not? And we'll speak to I'll speak to some of the other points later on as we move through this. So when the masculine, thank you, Carol, thank you very much. When the masculine has purpose, when the masculine has clarity, conviction, discernment in purpose. In other words, when the masculine, thank you, Daniela. When the masculine has clarity on who he wishes to be, on who he is, on how he wishes to move through life, and importantly, he's able to act on that, it is deeply attractive to the feminine. Not only is it deeply attractive to the feminine within the masculine, but also the feminine outside of the masculine. Hey, Mum, how are you? Welcome. And what's important is how that individual, the masculine, lives his purpose will also determine the quality of the people he brings into his life. I'll elaborate on that in a moment, yeah? So, if you resonate with that, pop a number 2 in the comment box. If you can connect to that, when the masculine is strong in his purpose, ladies out there, when the masculine is strong in his purpose, is that not a beautifully attractive quality? Is that not a beautifully endearing quality? Because when that man, when the masculine is living on and in purpose and has clarity on his vision and executes that, lives that diligently, what it actually does for the feminine, both within and outside, is provide safety and security, is provide certainty, is provide an absence of uncertainty. And that is safety. That is clarity. Kylie says, is that how you meet people? You know, and it does, Sky, absolutely. It inspires a deep sense of trust. Kylie, yeah, you know, that's absolutely. See, if you have, so when we speak to purpose, this is, of course, purpose is for men and women. And purpose, in a sense, is clarity. When we have clarity in ourselves and in our direction, in our path, and the experience that we wish to have, and the experiences that we wish to partake in. But here's the kicker. Here's the most important part. Here's the leverage point in this, is the feelings. When we have clarity on the feelings that we wish to feel in association with our purpose, with our purposes, with what is most important to us, that is what draws into us alignment in communication, alignment in relationships. So give me an amen, or an aho, or any other inference, any other cultural inference you would like to place in there. Remo, welcome. It's good to have you. You're up early. So, clarity. But I want to go back to this emotional component. This is so crucial. The emotional component of this is so crucial, yeah? Is that when we're speaking to purpose, we're not just speaking to limiting ourselves. I'll do a live feed on this another time with respect to how we identify our purpose and get clarity in our purpose, and really take ourselves down a path of resonating with purpose and being connected to that. But just to touch on this for a moment, this is really important. We see, and this is part neurology as well. So this is part neuroscience with respect to how the brain works, how the limbic system works, and how the limbic system, so how the three brains interact with each other. So the cerebellum, the limbic system, and the prefrontal lobe, prefrontal cortex, the frontal cortex. So this is really, really important. So when we want to have a particular experience, or we are looking at aligning with a particular experience, what tells us what indicates to us if that experience is of any value to us, or if there's resonance? It is first that resonance, or that understanding, that connection, first comes from our limbic system, from our emotional brain, from our social brain. We cultivate a feeling of resonance, or we cultivate a feeling of resistance. So and then that tells the prefrontal cortex what to verbalize or what to think per se. So let's just say, for example, we have a purpose in life. Well, my purpose is, I can tell you what part of my purpose is. So my purpose is to be a steward of earth. Now, what does that actually mean? There's no immediate need to detail that and categorize and lock myself into one particular experience. The brain doesn't necessarily like that. But what is important is to associate the feelings. Or what does that give me? What feeling does that give me that I wish to be a steward of earth? I wish to be a voice for the voiceless. What feeling does that give me? It gives me a sense of accomplishment, a sense of satisfaction. Now, let's just use one example. So sense of accomplishment, a deep sense of fulfillment. Okay, we'll use fulfillment. Now if fulfillment is something that I wish to feel, and that is intimately connected to one of my experiential, existential purposes, I can find fulfillment in many different experiences. I can find fulfillment being in the ocean. I can find fulfillment, I can connect to, feel fulfillment, which is closely associated with something that is deeply important to my life's purpose. I can find fulfillment in climbing a rock face. I can find fulfillment in having a beautifully endearing conversation. I can find fulfillment in spending time with myself, meditating, reading. Can we see where we're going with this now? So when we're talking about purpose, it's not that an individual has to know exactly with clarity, although this is very useful, exactly with clarity what experiences they wish to have. Again, very useful and very important. What is more important than that is the emotional resonance behind those experiences. And then being able to experience that emotional resonance in different situations, in different life circumstances in life. If you can resonate with that, pop a number 3 in the comment box. And if you're new, put new in the comment box. If you're new to these live feeds, if you're just coming on, pop number 1 in the comment box. So I can't see everybody that's coming on because it's telling me that there's more people coming on, but I don't know everyone that is coming on. Yeah, I can't see everyone that's coming on. I'd love to interact and communicate with you. If you have any questions on that, open up that dialogue, open up that query, because I'm sure someone else is thinking it as well. Do not wait for someone to ask that question. I used to be, when I was in primary school, I used to be that kid in the class that would wait. Melody, welcome. Thank you for being here. That would wait for someone else to ask the question because I was curious, because I felt I would be ostracized as a child to ask the question. Now, I'm just asking questions. I just want to ask the question. Oh, Rima, welcome. Can we please welcome Rima to the live feed? This is her first live feed. If we can welcome Rima, please, that would be absolutely gorgeous and absolutely wonderful. To Tribe, please welcome Rima. Thank you. So again, if we just go back now that I've given you a little bit of background in that, if we return to the masculine having very distinct purpose and clarity in what he wishes to feel in life, in what experiences he wishes to experience and how he wishes to interact with those experiences. That is a beautiful trait to cultivate within oneself. And the feminine is deeply, deeply attracted to that state. The feminine is connected to that state. And again, it's because there are feelings of certainty. That when we have certainty, there is familiarity, and familiarity breeds safety. It leads to safety. And we all, men and women, wish to feel safe in life. We wish to have that certainty in life. It allows us to be more free in our expression. It allows us to be more open in our hearts because there is less risk. There is less perceived risk, less perceived unconscious risk of harm occurring if we are open and vulnerable with who we are. So that safety is so important. Now, if we're looking at how does living on purpose then create these amazing, very real, very connected, loving relationships, we begin to understand that it's through clarity, it's through knowing one's self on so many different layers that we are able to connect deeper with someone. And it is in that depth, in that exploration of that depth of another and of self because of another, that we are able to connect and merge with such depth and clarity. And that is beautiful. Like that is what, that right there, that cultivates love in our relationships. If you can resonate with that, if that makes sense to you, if you can feel that, or if you've even experienced that, place a number 4 in the comment box, please. Also, what I'd love to hear from anyone that is willing to type really quick and oh, not have to type very quick, but is to let me know your experiences. Let everybody know your experiences with having clarity in self, in knowing self, in being on and in a journey of self-awareness, and then actually being able to connect deeper with people because you are so clear in yourself, you're so clear in your being, you know what your heart yearns for. And when you pay attention to yourself, that you aren't actually connected to yourself, that you are a little bit lost in life, that your relationships suffer because of that. So if you've had experiences in that space, please share those if you can. Thank you, Michelle. Welcome, Michelle. How are you? Hoping you're very well. Emma, go for it, because the experiences that we share, the personal experiences that we share, have a capacity to connect to and impact others. So when we live in our own truth, when we live in integrity, when we live in deeper connection to self, we allow others to do the same. And then all of a sudden, you've got two people that are living in integrity, being completely honest with themselves and being completely honest with each other. And let me tell you something really important here, people. I know firsthand so deeply the importance of this, because I've come from a place where I was not honest with myself. I've come from a place where I was not honest with the people in my life, especially those that were closest to me. And it was so detrimental to the quality of the relationship. It broke the quality of the relationship. It broke the communication. It destroyed the ability for us to go at depth. There was so much fear because of that inability to be clear, to be real with self. And I know that firsthand. So when I speak to this with deep inspiration. I speak to this coming from a yearning, coming from a place of not wanting others to experience the same level of pain. And not that there's anything wrong with experiencing pain and discomfort. When pain and discomfort come to you, it's part of the spectrum of being alive. It should be something to be embraced, and it's a great teacher. I often say, the deeper the pain and the deeper the challenge, the more profound the growth. The deeper the pain that we experience, the more profound the growth that we experience. And if you can resonate with that deeply, pop a number 5 in the comment box. And we often don't see life like that. We don't observe and feel life in that capacity. Absolutely, Zoe, the journey is the reward. I just want to go back to a couple of Bex here. Being raw and able to speak in public, to relate and speak from experience at a mental health awareness event. That's awesome, Bex. Really good. Really, that's deeply empowering. Rena, patience is key. Practice, patience, persistence. I have a 3P model that I use in all of my teachings. Practice, patience, persistence applies to every area of life, including when you're learning about self, including when you're connecting to self, including when you're feeling into self, when you're being with self. It is so crucial to our growth and to our development. Fiona says, my experiences through life have taken so much from me that I felt I had nothing to give in my relationship. Now on my own, I'm healing and learning to be able to give in a relationship. Absolutely, because you're able to be with yourself. And when we're able to be with ourselves and connect to ourselves, and Zoe says it really well there, to be present with ourselves, we learn more about who we are. We learn more about our power. We learn more about the essence of who we are. We fine-tune that clarity within. And that clarity is so attractive. It is so beautiful to observe someone that has clarity in their lives, that has presence in their lives, that has a realness in their lives, that has purposefulness in their lives, and is able to live that deeply. And Daniela says, I think it's cut off here, Daniela, I'm sorry, but when I'm deeply connected, I can connect, give so much more clearly and deeply with my clients, kids, friends. I feel so connected with self, my energy, my vibration, motivating and driving me. And I'm assuming you say that when I'm tired, you feel the antithesis of that. Absolutely. And generally what individuals would be very attracted to, and please don't look at this as something that's superficial. Just in case we're looking at that, because we're speaking, the word attraction sometimes can carry a particular connotation around it. We're talking about attraction. We're talking about resonance. Okay, we're talking about the ability to connect deeper. So living on purpose allows us to connect deeper with people because we know what we want in life. We know the forms and the types of experiences we wish to have, and we know the feeling states that we wish to place ourselves in. And that is what is deeply, deeply important here. It's about where do we wish to be, how do we wish to live, and how does that then affect the quality and the depth of our relationships. And I want to put something out there to you. And I'd love as many of you as possible to answer this in as very few words as possible as well. So put your thinking cap on here, put your feeling heart in place. Why is it important to have depth in a relationship? Why is it important to have depth in a relationship? How does having depth in a relationship or being able to go deep with someone in a relationship, how does that benefit us? How does that serve us? And I'll kickstart it, yeah? I want to kickstart this. When we are real with each other, when we are able to go deep with each other, in that depth, a profound opportunity occurs for us to view ourselves in the fullness of who we are. And when we're speaking to purpose, one of the grandest purposes for life, and it's so unconscious for most of us, is to return back to the essence of who we are, to realize the truth of who we are. And being in relationship and going deep in relationship allows us to do that. It bestows upon us that gift. Keep these beautiful answers coming. Keep these beautiful responses coming. And if you can resonate with that, pop a number 7 in the comment box if you can resonate with that. So connection, understanding, transparency, truth, authenticity, acceptance, embracing, essence, awesome. Beautiful. Connection, closeness, substance, fantastic. So beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. Zoe says, courage is openness to be seen and know that that is enough. And it is enough. If you are living in integrity, if you're living in your own truth, if you are deeply connected to who you are, that is so impactful. Did I miss a number? That's what I do. I miss numbers. I miss numbers. It's so bad. Emma, I missed the number. But we just go, it doesn't matter too much. The sequence doesn't matter too much. So we look at purpose bringing us together. But it's also just, it's a beautiful feeling to have. I have an almost abstract formula, okay, for discovering, not so much for discovering our purpose, because if you're beautiful people, if you're new to the live feed, place new in the comment box so that I know that you're here. If you're just joining us, place number 1 in the comment box so that I know that you're here. So with respect to purpose, in fact, I will do a live video feed on purpose. I've done a few in the past, but I'll do another one and look at how connecting to purpose is so important, but also discovering our purpose. Sorry, I got distracted there for a moment. Mary, welcome. There's a comment here. Being a magnet of attraction that draws your tribe towards you, it's a high vibe energy that you give off that attracts opportunities and the right people to you. It's being totally authentic with who you are and shining through that. I can't see the whole comment, sorry Carol, but thank you so much for sharing that. Beautiful. So when we're speaking to purpose, we're speaking to really understanding self. Like it's just as much as possible. And it's a journey, yeah. It's not, let me be really clear on this. It's not something that just occurs and we reach this end point. Not at all. It is a beautiful unfolding. It's a beautiful unraveling of self. It's a beautiful, it's a very legitimate, magical expression that takes place where we begin to really connect to ourselves and we begin to know and learn about who we are. And every time we learn an aspect of self, we're in this constant transformation and transmutation of self. So if you can feel into the importance of that understanding purpose, you will begin to attract these beautifully well-aligned people in your life. And Mary says painful yet rewarding. And as we break through new paradigms, as we break through new versions of self, or old versions of self rather, so we break through old versions of self into new versions of self, we begin to let go of what no longer serves us. And that can be challenging. It can be challenging because it can be challenging because the ego gets very scared because we're entering a new way of being. And in that place, the ego does not like what is not familiar. It does not like what it is not comfortable with. And it has this fear of being annihilated. So what I was speaking to earlier, which I skipped, I'm going to come back to it now, is that purpose. So when we get clear on our purpose, okay, and I do this, I symbolize this. It's almost like this esoteric, ethereal realm that we're in, yeah? With purpose. It's this deep spiritual purpose, and we often associate spirituality with above, the heavens above, so to speak. When we then take action, okay, we take action in alignment with that purpose, whether that be actively pursuing or living through the feelings that are associated with that purpose, the feeling state, or those actual experiences, we cultivate meaning and fulfillment in our lives. And in that meaning and fulfillment, we naturally experience happiness. And that's a formula for happiness that I have, where it's meaning, fulfillment, purpose equates to happiness when expressed and experienced in a particular way. And so in that space, we have this meaning and fulfillment that, again, really drives us. It either drives us to do or drives us to just be, but it motivates us. But beyond that, it inspires us. It inspires us profoundly and deeply. And in that inspiration, we're living our truth. Now, you're smiling because you're happy, because you have meaning and fulfillment in your life. Like, how empowering is that? And that there gives us clarity and openness. Openness in self and openness in emotional expression. So men out there that are listening to this live feed, when you are able to be emotionally expressive and articulate in how you feel, that is beautifully attractive to the feminine, to the woman in your life, or to the women in your life, or to the feminine in your life. Because again, not to go too deep into this in this live feed, but biochemically, and from a neuroscience perspective, or the brain is it's hardwired differently to the male brain. Culturally as well, the way and for so many different reasons, for so many different variables that have influenced where we are in life as men and women. Culturally as well, we're a little bit different. We have been conditioned differently. So the way we interpret the world, the way biological or biochemical processes take place in our bodies, in our brains. So when a man, for example, is able to communicate expressively himself, his truth, it's deeply attractive because it's clear. And in that clarity, there's safety, and the feminine thrives on safety. And then here's the deepening in the relationship, yeah? You're right, Zoe. To be seen by a man is beautiful. To be seen by the masculine is beautiful. But here's the depth. This is the depth. When the masculine is able to communicate, express his feelings deeply, yeah? And profoundly to the feminine embraces that completely. The feminine then is able to support and nurture the masculine, is able to support and be present as well for the masculine, is able to be compassionate, endearing, is able to soften the sometimes rigid or the rigidity of the masculine. And in that softness, the masculine is able to be himself. It's this beautiful interplay that takes place. It's phenomenal. And when I speak to this, I'm also speaking to the masculine and the feminine within, yeah? Absolutely, Zoe. So there's an opening and allowing that takes place where a nourishing and honouring takes place. When the masculine feels honoured, when the masculine feels nourished and cared for, the masculine will be this vertical presence of strength and posturing and stability and safety for the feminine. And all this comes from being clear and being able to live in that clarity. Give me a fuck yes or an amen or a hallelujah or an aho or whatever it is that you wish to, whatever word you wish to express if you support what I've just said, if you can resonate with that. Jared, welcome. Jared, welcome, brother. A beautifully conscious male on this live feed. Thank you for being here, Jared. If ladies, awesome. If there's no shortage of these fuck yeses. Awesome. So if you're just coming on, pop a number 1 in the comment box. If you're new to this live feed, please here. You are an exceptional Shiva, Jared. Absolutely, brother. If you are new to these live feeds, pop you in the comment box. But it's this interplay that takes Charlene, welcome. It's this interplay that takes place in this human realm, yeah. And know, of course, that the feminine and the masculine are simply expressive states that come from the same place. They come from wholeness. That's where they come from. These expressive states come from wholeness. So what we wish to move through is being deeply resonant with purpose, yeah? Being deeply resonant with purpose and being attentive to our purpose as well. And I think Dawn says here, and I'm not quite sure if I'm understanding Dawn, but your experiences are that you've been an open, loving, kind, you've expressed an open, loving and kind feminine, but it's been attacked by the masculine. And I'm telling you now that if that's the case, it hasn't been a healthy masculine that has attacked you at all. It's been a very unhealthy masculine. That's sad, and deeply sorry for that. But please understand that when we, but more importantly, actually, that makes sense, yeah. And there you have to, we have to set those boundaries for ourselves if we are not being honored in our space, if we are not, and that's part of the clarity, that's part of the knowing self and connecting to self. If we are not honored in our own space, if we are not honored in who we are, we must set those boundaries and distance ourselves from that environment that is being toxic to us. Please understand that, people. That is so important. The ability to say no. I had this conversation with a beautiful friend of mine today. The ability to say no, thank you. No, thank you. Just because, and let me just be really clear on something as well. Just because you open yourself up in your feminine to be completely vulnerable and completely present, and even if the masculine is vertical and strong and discerning and safe and clear, that doesn't mean that the feminine in his life is going to treat him. If we have that expectation, we may be very disappointed, because we cannot be responsible for how others behave and how others treat us or treat themselves. People are going through their own pain points. No matter how vertical you are, no matter how strong you are, no matter how present you are, no matter how beautifully emotional you are, or vulnerable you are, or open you are, or safe you are, you must be doing that primarily for yourself first. And the more you do that for yourself first, okay, the more you do that for yourself, this is so important. The more you do that for yourself first, then you will begin to draw into your life and bring into your life the people that you want. And let me tell you why. Because with that clarity that you have, you will be in a greater, stronger, more empowered position to say, no, thank you. That does not serve me. And you begin to filter out what does not serve you, what experiences do not serve you, what behaviors do not serve you, what people do not serve you. Give me a number 9. I think I've missed the number again. Doesn't matter. Give me number 9 in the comment box if you can really resonate with that. And Sky, you're absolutely right. When there's deep love there, and there's connection, and there's patterning, and there's exposure, and there's habit of being with someone, it's difficult to leave, but it does come down to your self-worth. Your self-worth is so crucial. And again, the deeper our self-worth, the deeper connection we have to ourselves, with that worth, that level of worth that we have, we are able to make decisions based on loving ourselves, on connecting to ourselves. And that, my beautiful friends, is living in and on purpose. That is living in and on purpose. When you are able to make those decisions based on your truth and what you need. learning self-love and self-worth is deeply challenging. We are battling through and pushing through years of thick conditioning. And it is one of the most important facets of life and living life and being true to self and being open with self. But it is deeply rewarding when we learn to love ourselves and we say no thank you. We put those boundaries up. And when I say boundaries, I'm not talking about closing ourselves off to the world. I'm speaking to boundaries that do not resonate. So experiences that do not resonate, and not just allowing those experiences to permeate our existence or our soul because we are too scared to say no, or because we don't value ourselves enough. So we minimize ourselves, we maximize others at our expense, and we become resentful and we disrespect ourselves, and we lose the core of who we are. And that is so sad. So sad. Can everybody resonate with that? Can everybody connect to that? Can everybody feel that? Because I feel that in my own life. I've been that person that has not valued myself, and at the expense of my own integrity, I have lost myself in the truth of who I am. And I have minimized myself and have engaged in experiences and practices that have not resonated with me. And it's been really deeply hurtful. Not healthy. It becomes a very unhealthy process. Beautiful people, if you're new, pop new in the comment box. And if you're just coming on, place number 1 in the comment box. It is learning, Mary. Yeah, absolutely. Shane, I feel that. Emma, yep. Yeah, I always say unfortunately or fortunately. It depends on your perspective on how you view life, of course. But of course, every opportunity, every experience is an opportunity for growth. Every opportunity can teach us to grow, to become more profound versions of self. And in that sense, there is no good and bad. Yes, atrocities and malicious experiences or actions are bad, are evil per se, on that sense, on that plane. But every opportunity in life, every experience we have is an opportunity to grow. That's a very deep conversation for another time. And I'm probably going to end on that one now and say, and the last comment I can see here is that Zoe says, grateful for all. And I just want to say how grateful I deeply am for, we started with gratitude, right? We started the live feed with gratitude, and let's end it with gratitude as well. And Nikki, that is a beautiful question to ask, and I often ask that of myself, and I always ask the people that I work closely with, when they are in distress and disarray and disconnection, ask yourself, what would love do now? If you're about to react instead of respond, ask yourself, what would love do now? What would love do now? And what are you grateful for? So before we wrap this up, what are you grateful for after the last 35, 40 minutes? Thank you, Charlene. After the last 35, 40 minutes of sharing this, thank you, Mary, sharing this beautiful interchange of information that we've shared. What are you grateful for? What insights have come? Thank you, Rena. Dawn, that's really powerful, and I honour you so much for that. Dawn, I honour you so much for that. It is very raw and very fresh for you to leave a relationship yesterday. So honouring you deeply, Dawn. Thank you for sharing that and being very vulnerable, and you are witnessed in that. You are recognised deeply and profoundly in that. And just be with yourself, be with those feelings, allow yourself to feel those feelings, not to tell you what to do or who to be, but if you can allow yourself to just move through the feelings of everything that you're experiencing right now, it will be of such a benefit to you. but honoring you so deeply. But what are we grateful for, beautiful people? What are we grateful for? Yeah, you're getting a lot of love, Dawn. You're getting a lot of love. You're getting a lot of love, my dear. Yeah, a lot of love and a lot of sincerity and a lot of care. Thank you, Emma. Thank you. My insight is simply a reflection of you, all of you. We really are deeply all connected. Yeah, absolutely, Dawn. You leverage that collective consciousness, Dawn. That's what we are all here to do and be. This is what we do, and why we are who we are. Yeah. Charlene, beautiful, beautiful, Rena. Thank you, Sky. Yeah, sometimes, Sky, it's never really easy. 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Sometimes it's still not easy. It can life can affect us. Relationships, meaningful, deep relationships, can affect us. If you So, what you are grateful for. Yeah, the strands of that web, absolutely, Zoe. Yeah, we're all interconnected in so many different ways. Yeah, so many, our consciousness is so linked, and that's it's a beautiful, beautiful realization to have. Beautiful, profound, profound. You are lifted in love, Dawn. All of you are lifted in love. Beautiful souls, all lifted in love, absolutely. Yeah. So, living in and on purpose. Really, it is finding clarity in yourself. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. You've played a profoundly deep role in that, Michelle. Thank you. Honoring you. One of the most amazing women in my life, Michelle. Thank you so much. Eons of wisdom are encapsulated in your head, Michelle, in your being. Beautiful. So I've got two very close friends here. I always do my best to make sure that I'm on point with my live feeds, because it's something that I'm committed to and it deeply fulfills me. But two of my friends here, so they're waiting for me, but they're here. They also happen to be in my team. We work together for what I do for my service as well. So we're going to have a bit of a discussion, and I'm just so inspired now by what we've all spoken to here that I'm just feeling deeply inspired. So that makes me feel amazing. So thank you to all of you for that inspiration. And I want to say, beautiful people, if this video resonates with you, please share it with those that you love, with those that you care about, those that you feel that may serve. Please go ahead and do that. Please share this video. If you have any questions, pop them on this video, place them on this video, and over the next few days I'll get to them if possible. But many blessings on your journey. Thank you so much for being here. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you, and I'll see you again on Tuesday. On Tuesday night, I'll be with my good friend Mark again. We were together on last Tuesday night, which was awesome. So he'll be here this Tuesday night with me as well. We're going to speak to health and psychology of health and relationships and health and all things wellness again. I'm really looking at the health side of life as well, but on various layers and levels, because I'm speaking at an event that he's running in a month or so. So that's really exciting. So Tuesday I'll be with Mark. We'll be sharing our wisdom together, and he's a beautiful human being, beautiful soul. So many blessings. Craig, welcome. If you are coming on, pop number 1 in the comment box so I'll know that you've come on late, or that you've come on, and then that way I'll be able to correspond with you later. But beautiful. Thank you. When you go to sleep tonight and you place your head on that pillow, ask yourself what you are most grateful for and feel it. Feel that gratitude. That gratitude will lend itself to clarity. Clarity will lend itself to deepening relationships. Thank you so much, people.